Peace and blessings. I hope you guys are doing well. I want to give a thanks and honor to the Most High, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I'm not going to be on here long, but if I am, please forgive me. But I did just want to get on here. I know I said that I wasn't going to be making any more videos, relaying any visions, but it's not up to me to honestly make that decision, because I have to do what the Most High tells me to do, and I do have to share with you guys these things because I think it's very, very important, because we're in such a critical time right now. And if you hear stuff in the back, just know that they're doing that stuff, very purposely, and they're being abrupt, loud, and rambunctious for a reason. And those are my neighbors. She has the biggest damn mouth on the damn face of this earth, or at least one of them, and she does that purposely, like literally. So if you hear that, don't be moved by it. Just know that there's no way for me to tune it out or anything like that. But without further ado, I'm gonna just get right into it. Some of this stuff I have already kind of covered, but the only reason why I have to bring it up is simply because I've been shown other things, and it does coincide with what I have already revealed to you based off of what I was shown. So forgive me if you do hear anything that's repetitive, but understand that repetition is good for all of us. So just listen. But anyways, this vision, it was on July 13th, okay? And it says, "Today I saw the front tip of a huge ship. I saw the view of its tip and grandness. Me looking upward, so I saw this huge tip of this ship, and it was huge. It was like magnificently great in terms of its size. And I was like looking at it from as if I was sitting on the ocean, and I was seeing it. So I said, then I saw this ship again, but this time I saw its profile, and I was able to see the length of its enormity. I said, and I saw this bundle of rope. Then it looked like the ship was sinking, like the famous Titanic." Okay, so how y'all know, if you've seen the movie Titanic, how the ship had sank. So that's exactly what it almost looked like. It looked like that exactly, like as if this huge, enormous ship was sinking. Like that's what it looked like. And the rope, I saw this rope it looked like the rope was either being, I couldn't tell if it was being gathered or if it was being dropped, like as if they were dropping an anchor to try and help its, I don't know what dropping an anchor would do necessarily, because an anchor is not necessarily used to drop. You don't drop an anchor to try to save your ship from sinking. Well, I imagine you can, though, because you drop an anchor just in case, to try to give stabilization to the ship or whatever, because of strong wave currents. It could be a storm, anything like that. So, but in this case, I understand why I was seeing a rope, but it looked like as if there was an anchor that was supposed to be dropped or was trying to be dropped. And I guess the anchor is supposed to represent the instability of them trying to use an anchor to try and save themselves from sinking. And in a sense where I'm saying I'm talking about Babylon, and of course I've also looked into scripture where I've seen that the waters, especially in Revelation, was characterized as or sort of described as multitudes of people, nations and different tongues and stuff like that. So I would think that that's exactly what it meant. But also the ship is symbolic to the nature of Babylon, in which she sits, which is upon many nations, multitudes and tongues and things like that. And that her ship or the ship or Babylon, the great whore, is about to sink. And I imagine the anchor being the anchor, which is the stability or the security that they've used, is obviously that being the false deceit, the teachings, the lies, all these different, signs and wonders that they've tried to use, or, things that they try to hide behind to try to mask or cloak the lies. And or it's just like anybody who tries to who has a really bad gash, okay? Let's say you have a really bad gash in your body, right? And you don't want anybody to notice that you have a really bad gash when you know that you're about to die, because the gash is very fatal. You feel it. You feel yourself dying. You're bleeding out. All of that, And it's just like a person knowing that and then trying to slap a gouge and a big fat Band-Aid on top of it, trying to cover up the fact that they are dying or that they have a lethal blow. It's just like that. So that's what it means. So it's not a good sign, obviously. So that's one, of course. And I'm going to read to you this one. This one I had July the 21st. It's a couple of them that I'm going to share with you guys. And then I'm going to read to you guys a few scriptures and a few etymology. And that's going to be it. That's going to be it. And I'm going to get off of here. So this was July 21st. I wrote down, I saw the 45th president. Of course, we know who that is, Trump. But it could have been Joe Biden or Pence. I said the reason is because this pale man had white hair. So Joe Biden has white hair. So does Mike Pence, and so does Trump. But of course, Trump's hair is a blend or mixture of like white and like this blonde, like reddish type of hair. So it looked like that. Sometimes it can look like that. Sometimes it can't. So the reason why I say those three people, because those are three people that obviously that came to mind immediately without even thinking. Okay. So I said, but I'll put my money on either Trump or Biden, okay? But I'm thinking that maybe that was Biden for sure. But it could be Trump. It could be Trump or Biden. That's why I said it's either those of the two. It's either Trump or it's Biden. That's for sure. He had a blue suit on with a usual striped tie. And if you've seen anything, just pictures of Trump, he always wears like a red tie. Always. Or if it's not a red tie, it's a variation of red, like a pink tie, or it'll be striped with red. That is like his thing. But I've also seen a picture with Biden. He also had the same tie on. They had the same tie on. Biden and Trump had the same exact tie, and it was striped, with like red in it. And then I said, then I saw what looked like a chariot of some sort. It was wrecked. So I saw the pale man with the white hair. He was in a suit with a striped tie. And the reason why I told you guys that it could either be, the reason why I said at first that it was, excuse me, Trump, Biden, or Mike Pence. I only threw Mike Pence in there was because he had white hair. And of course, he's still in that inner workings or inner circle of presidency. He's the vice president. I saw the pale man, right? And then I saw immediately, like right behind him, which the pale man went out of focus, and then I saw this wrecked like chariot of some kind. That's why I said, then I saw what looked like a chariot of some sort. It was wrecked. So it was like a wrecked chariot. That's the only way that I can explain it. It was some wrecked sort of ship or something like that. Hence, of course, the first vision that I revealed to you guys, the sinking ship. And let me, since we're on that note, I want to read to you guys just what I've kind of done, because what I like to do is I like to look up words you know, and figure out, you know, what their pedigree of the words mean, and also, you know, just idioms of different sayings and stuff like that, because you get a deeper meaning about this. It helps me. It really does, to at least be able to describe to you guys what they mean and what I'm seeing. So I looked up sinking ship, okay? My apologies. I got my phone standing up, so forgive me if it falls. I'm not trying to, but, you know, I'm trying my best here. I have to do it on my phone only because I'm using my laptop, so forgive me. And if you can hear, it's a helicopter flying above. It's always helicopters flying above. It's like every time I try to do something, whether it's making a video or I'm praying or just anything, you know, they always seem to want to like try and disturb me or make me make me remember that I'm being watched, which I don't give a damn about. So these are synonyms for sinking ship. Okay, bankruptcy. I'm not going to read all of them, just a few things that actually stood out. Bankruptcy, implosion, deterioration, misadventure, miscarriage, wreck, stoppage, non-success, flash in the pan, defeat, decline, collapse, checkmate, what's another one? Failing, birthing pains. Now, and I'll put this in the description box, okay? Just to give you guys a deeper understanding of what this is. Bomb, botch, breakdown, defeat, frustration, inadequacy, non-performance, washout, okay? And that's just a few that I'll give you guys, just to kind of help you. Okay, so yeah, when I saw this wrecked ship, okay, it didn't impede. It was almost as if like the pale man went out of focus, and then I saw immediately the ship come into focus, which was this wrecked sort of ship, okay? And then I said, I also saw a huge statue of a Christ, fall off of a mountaintop. Now, I'm going to put this in the description box, a picture of this, because I want you guys to be able to really see exactly what I'm talking about, because there's only one statue like that in particular that fits the exact, you know, look of what I saw in my mind in terms of the vision. What I saw, I'm gonna tell you. So, this is a Christ picture. I'm not gonna show you, but I looked it up. But I'll put it in the description box so you can see it. And I got this off of a website where I looked it up. And this statue is one of the biggest statues. It's actually the fourth of its kind in the world, the entire world. And it sits on some huge mountain. Like if you guys have seen the movie 2012. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. That same, when the water had receded, when the water had went over the mountain, you saw this huge like Christ figure that had its hands out like the cross, and it had been consumed or knocked down by the water. That's exactly what I saw. I saw that same exact statue tipping over, literally like plunging forward off the mountain. And this statue in particular that I'm talking about, because I saw the same exact one, it's in Rio de Janeiro, which is in Brazil. And like I said, it's one of the fourth biggest statue of its kind, and it's literally sitting on top of a huge mountain, which is called the Corcovado mountain in Brazil. And you guys can go and look at it. I'll put it in the description box. And that's what I saw. I saw that literally like it had its hands out just like the cross, and it was plunging forward, like off the cliff. That's what I saw. And then I said, this was on the 22nd. Okay, so that was the 21st. Okay, and this is on the 22nd. I said, I saw a body of water filled with green-looking algae or liquid. And then I saw another body of water filled with blood. Okay, so the first time I saw, of course, this huge body of water. So it could have been a lake, it could have been, a reservoir of some kind with water, a dam, or it could have been an ocean. I don't know. But from the looks of it, it looked like it, or it could have even been a swamp. I don't know. But what I do know is that it was a body of water, okay? And it had this algae, greenish looking chemical in the water, So I know that wasn't a good sign. And if you've seen green, of course, attributing that to chemical, or bile, or some sort of green, hazardous sort of secretion. Okay, so green is not necessarily a good thing in terms of me seeing it in water. In a body of water, seeing green like that, it wasn't a good thing. Some people might, argue and say, oh, well, that's something normal. Algae, blah, 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 this and that. No, I only say algae just to describe its color and the way it looked. But it didn't look, it's not a good thing, is what I'm saying. It's not a good thing. So, I saw that first. And then I saw another body of water, which could have been the same. And it had blood only this time. It was filled with blood. Okay. And of course, we've seen also, or looked, if you paid attention to scripture, which I know a lot of you have, but this is nothing new. We've seen also with even just plagues, that happened in Egypt with the seas turning red. And if you've seen or paid attention to what's going on around the world, there's a lot of lakes. Like there was a lake that got turned to blood red in India, I believe. Then there was another that got turned to blood red in Australia or river. And then there was another in Russia. And this all happened this year. Okay. Now I had already seen this before, but this was again. Okay. So this can also be attributed to the fact that there is going to be a mass amount of bloodshed. Death is coming, to a mass amount of people as well. So I would say that is also what it means as well. So just keep in mind about that type of stuff. And like I said, I'm doing the best that I possibly can. I'm trying to, write this stuff down the best way that I can, because I can describe what I'm seeing, but it becomes even more and more hard to understand it, because it can mean so many different things. I said, I'm going to skip that one for now. Then I saw this huge tower, which looked identical to the Washington Monument. I saw this clear as day. Clear as day. I saw this huge tower, and it looked exactly like the Washington Monument. It looked exactly like that. Exactly like it. And I'll put a link in the description box too, but I'm sure you should know what the Washington Monument is. It's that huge, tall, large, building. It has like a triangular tip at the top, like a pencil. It's shaped like almost like a pencil. And then I said, I also saw a pyramid with two separate inscriptions. So after I see the huge Washington Monument build thing, I saw a pyramid, and I saw two inscriptions. One was an illustration of a deity, a man or whatever, but I only called it a deity because half of those damn hieroglyphs in Egypt are pictures of deities anyways. Maybe holding something in his hands pointed up. And the reason why I say maybe is because I couldn't tell if it was something in his hands or not. So his hands was up, like holding something, Like it could have been holding something, or maybe his palms were faced forward like this with his hands up, like as if he was giving praise, you know, or obeisance to something. Okay, pointing forward. I said, then the second one was an illustration of two arms holding up a disc. So the second inscription, I see that first inscription with a deity with his hands up praising something. And then I saw the second inscription, and it was of arms, like, of course, arms. And it was holding like this circular disc, two of them, one on each side, one on this side, another one on this side, holding it like this, you know, holding it just like this. And it was like a sun, literally. A disc-shaped object like the sun. That's what I said. And obviously, immediately what I got from this was sun worship. And if you've seen any of the signs, and like I said, any of the symbols that you see today, like some of them, it goes back to Egypt. You know what I mean? It's just all this recycled sun worship stuff. It's just all recycled. You know what I mean? That's exactly what it is. You know, so it's nothing. You can't be deceived by so many of the or by any of the variations of wicked sun worship or sorcery. You can't be deceived by it simply because all of it is one and the same. Okay, it's all one and the same. But particularly this symbol, it was obviously shaped like the sun, and I've come across one symbol in particular, and it had it's a usual symbol that they always show in hieroglyphs in the Egyptian mythology, where they have the sun and then they'll have like a beetle underneath it. I've said this before in another video, but just to bring it up only as a means of communicating a point, but it'll have like a beetle underneath it with wings on the side of it holding it up. And I've seen that many times, but I want to say this. I came across this sign in particular yesterday because it looked exactly, well, it is exactly nothing more but a variation of that symbol, which is, if you look up the World Health Organization symbol, it has like this huge circular, you know, target that's placed, or this like sort of like aerial topical view of the earth, of this round earth, right? And then it has like, you can see like the continents on it. Okay, you can see like continents, and then you can see like states. And what I was gonna say is this. Oh, well, you'll see first of all, you'll see the target, right, grid, and then you'll see the continents, and you'll see some states, and then right going underneath it all the way up to its sides, sort of fluking or arcing upward, you'll see like these sort of like these Grecian like leaves. Like you'll see that a lot. Like it's kind of like how the Grecians used to put like those wreaths of leaves or whatever in their hair. It looked like that, but those can still be characterized as or illustrated as wings. Because if you look at it, I'll put it in the description box so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Because I'm doing it no justice trying to explain it, but I'm trying to my best ability. Because once you see it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And then once you try, you juxtapose that alongside with the sun with the wings underneath it, or sometimes you'll see like a variation of that with a bug holding it up, or like if you go and you look up Planet X, this whole Planet X thing with the winged planet, all that crap. It's the same exact thing. It goes back to Egypt, okay? It goes back to Egypt. Or you'll even see like the hieroglyphs with some of these deities with it on top of their head, like a crown. It's the same exact type of thing, okay? So I only brought this up is because, you know, all of that is, of course, sun worship. So it's like, if you don't, my thing is that it's not hard to understand these things. It's only hard for people who are living in darkness, who wants to who wants to continue, to uplift and believe a lie. Those are the ones who are not going to understand that any of this stuff is wrong. But you have to understand that the reason why it's my duty to tell people this stuff is because our people especially are the ones who have fallen victim and succumbed to this stuff for centuries. Well, actually, I wouldn't say victim, because that's just the truth. You can't fall victim to it when it's already been prophesied to you over, centuries on the stuff being witchcraft. So I take that back. It ain't victim at all. They haven't fallen victim. They've fallen willingly, prayed to it because they like it. And that's just the truth. So, it's just this huge surge of this sun worship, that has happened. And today you see a lot of our people walking around with unks and crucifixion crosses of and there's so many different variations to that alone, and that is not a good sign at all, wearing that, and the unk is another variation of the cross, or you can say that the cross is a variation of the unk. Either way, it's one and the same, is what I'm saying. It's one and the same. It's one and the same. And you'll see them walking around with copper. You'll see them walking around with Nefertiti bracelets or necklaces. Men with all types of stones, and women with stones. You know what I mean? In different hieroglyphic or Egyptian hieroglyphic symbols. You know what I mean? And this stuff is literally what got our people in the mess that we are in now. Thus slavery. Thus captivity. Which is where we're in right now. And we have to stop that stuff. I understand it. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, they seek not understanding. And it's hard to follow after this life or this narrow path. It's hard to follow the word because you can't do what you want to do. And that's the thing. You just can't. And a lot of people want to do what they want to do, especially our people. And I love my people. I love my people. I really, truly do. But it's our job to show our people their transgressions and show them the way. So at the end of the day, you can't say that nobody ever warned you. That's all I'm saying. You can't say that nobody ever warned you. So it's meant for even all the non-believers to hear the message, even though they ain't gonna accept it. Even all the ones whose names is not written in the Lamb's Book of Life, it's meant for them to hear it as well, because there won't be no excuse on come Judgment Day. You won't be able to say, "Oh, well, nobody ever told me. I didn't know." You won't be able to do that because it's out there. It's just that simple. Okay? It's just that simple. But I brought all that up for a reason, because this next one is very, very important. I want you to hear this. I saw a heavy, goopy flow of what I can only characterize, due to its consistency, at least, is as paint. Paint, okay? In terms of its consistency. And I said I saw this goopy flow of it. It was a bright yellow color. Hence, sun. Think about that. Hence, sun worship, all that type of stuff. It was a bright yellow color, and a tin canister was being filled with this yellow goop. So I saw this yellow goop flowing from this unknown source, because I couldn't see it. I only say unknown to say that I could not see it. But it was just a lot of it. And I would say an unknown fountain, of which I could not see, or whatever. But it was like this tin canister that was being filled by it. And the canister was being filled with this yellow goop. And then I go on to say, and then it was poured out on a hand. So it was like poured out, like splashed out on a hand. So you'll see my hand, and it was splashed out all like this. And then I go on to say, once the hand opened, okay, so it got splashed all over the arm and the hand, the forearm and the hand, and then the hand opened like this, okay, revealing in its palm. Once it opened, it revealed a syringe, a vaccine shot, or the mark of the beast. It was literally like this classic looking syringe So you know it has like, have you seen like the edge or the head of scissors? The two things that the two round circular hinges that you stick your fingers through. It was just like that. Like it had this classic look to it, like that, where it had those two circular sort of not tongues, but head to it. It was kind of like that, and the palm had opened up, revealing this syringe, and of course all of the yellow goop was all over it. And of course what that spoke out to me clearly was a clear indication that that was the vaccine, obviously the mark of the beast. And of course yellow attributing that to the sun, to bile, chemical, hazardous waste, and of course sulfur. And if you look up sulfur, you know exactly what I mean. And if you have seen, once sulfur is heated, it turns a red blood color, like hell. That's what hell has been, sort of, described as, being hot, red, inflamed, stuff like that. So, when sulfur is heated, it becomes like this bright red sort of orange color. And if you've seen like a volcano, all that stuff around it, the molten sulfur, hot sulfur, once it's room temperature cooled, the sulfur, it becomes this yellow looking color. So it's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. You know what I mean? I know it's not. And it can also be attributed to chemical waste, which can be described as something that is wicked, harmful. It's bad, So people are going to believe, like I said in two other videos, I made a statement saying that, of course, this vaccine is going to be forced on everybody, simply, in the form of, oh, well, you need to get it because you need to protect your immune system and the ones around you that you love, because if you don't, you're putting them in danger. So it's going to be pushed in the form of your safety or your security. You need to look out for your safety, your security, and everybody else's safety around you and security around you. So, that's the lie that they're going to hide behind, and of course the yellow also being, and let me bring this up because this is what also you need to remember, because I did another video and I made a statement where I said that also that, well, actually it wasn't a statement, it was a vision. That's what it was. It was a vision that I have read to you guys. I'm gonna see if I can get it right now. Bear with me, please. I'm going to read it to you. Okay. Yes. I said in this vision, the opening view was a yellow line painted on the floor. Yellow line, yellow. So, and have you seen the color yellow, even with just the signs? I'm gonna just jump off tangent just for a little bit. Even with just the signs that we see around us, with chemical waste warnings and hazardous warnings, you'll see them. They'll use a red. They'll use a red as a warning sign. They'll use a yellow as a warning sign or critical sign, hazardous sign. They'll use also orange as well as a hazardous, or chemical sign, or they'll use sometimes green, which is like usually what they'll use as describe chemical waste of some sort. And the yellow, I know, was not a good thing, and it represents, of course, caution, all that type of stuff, and like I said, bile and sulfur. So it's not a good thing. Okay, so I said I saw this yellow line. It was painted on the floor, and as my eyes followed the trail upward, it revealed the inside of this ancient looking temple, which was like I go on to tell you. There were congregants of soldiers on each side of the room. I noticed that, well, honestly, on each side of the room, it was like they were soldiers. So it was like as if they were frozen, though. They weren't moving, but they were all black. They were all black, you know, and it looked like as if they were like on horses and stuff like that. I said, I noticed that on the walls up ahead were Egyptian hieroglyphs. Hence the pyramid that I told you guys about and the two inscriptions that I just read to you guys about. You see how all this connects. This is why I have to bring this all up. And at the head of the throne was a man, comely in stature and visage, clothed in yellow raiments and fine golden jewelry. He was like or was the Pharaoh. I knew then that the yellow line that was dividing the room was not only beginning from this point, but that it was issued by the head, the king. Sorry, I had to read it because it was a little bit squiggly. Sometimes I can read my writing, sometimes I can't because I just be writing so fast. But yeah, let me read that again. I said, I knew then that the yellow line that was dividing the room was not only beginning from I said his point. Sorry, not this. From his point. Not only beginning from his point, but that it was issued by the head, the king, the Pharaoh. So it was like this line, the straight yellow line, just like how you would see on a road when you driving and you see the yellow lines dividing people. And that is a sign of, like I said, of course, yellow could be attributed to being cautious, being aware, attentive, you know, and they draw the lines on the street and stuff like that, you know. But in this case, this is not a good sign, of course. So I had to read to you guys that because that's very, very important. And I got one more vision I need to share with you guys. And I had this vision actually on the 21st as well, but I didn't write it down, but I remember it. Now, I made a video about the project, which was also, of course, Project Bluebeam, which will be the Great Deception, which is the whole rapture event that they're planning. And it's obvious that they're going to have, they're planning it, and it's going to happen because, for one, it's talked about in Scripture, and I'm going to bring up a few scriptures of that. And also, it's been confirmed with me, you know, that it's most certainly going to happen. So I'm going to explain to you in this vision what I saw. I saw right after, I think it was before or after I saw the plunging of this Christ statue that plunged off the top of the mountain. I ended up seeing this huge, okay, so it was like from the collarbone up, okay, or I would say like the top of the pecs upward. That's what I saw, okay. So if you saw just the top of this part right here and upward, okay, so that's including my shoulders, my neck, and my face, all that, okay. That's what I saw, and it was like this Christ, and he was a black man. He was black, okay, but his hair, here's the only difference. His hair was not woolly. It was not woolly. Well, it was thick. It was thick, but it wasn't woolly like how it says in Scripture, okay? It wasn't woolly like how it says in Scripture, okay? And it wasn't white, okay? But that's what I saw. And it was this huge, like I said, the top of the pecs upward. This huge, like, sort of picture of him. And he was in the sky. And his hair, like I said, it wasn't like woolly, but it was thick and it was kind of like, it was wavy. Just like how they would show him in, you know, they'll show like that pale faced Christ with his hair like laid with waves. Like that's how it looked. But only difference was that he was black. He was black. So it was just like that, and his hair was a little bit thicker, just a little bit thicker, but nonetheless, it was still wavy, exactly the same, and laid exactly the same. And the reason why I'm laughing is because I knew that this was most certainly shown to me to confirm that this is how it's gonna go down. Like it's going to feel so real, and it looked and feel. Oh my God! Like it looked so authentic. I'm telling you, it looked authentic. That's why I'm having a hard time trying to explain to you that it was literally a picture when that's exactly what it was. But to me, it was shown to me like as if it was the real thing. Like that's what it looked like. But even though I knew that it wasn't, because he didn't look anything like Scripture says that he's going to look like when he comes back. And most importantly, he wasn't on a cloud as well. But there was clouds in the sky, nonetheless. But the sunset, or should I say the background, was so marvelous, riveting, in terms of its color schemes. It was like a sunset that I had never seen before. Had mixtures of these yellows and these pastel blues to like nice colored reds and these orange colors that popped, and it had some tones of pink in it, and it was amazing. Like I have never seen anything like that before, but that's how real it felt. And just the being blinded by the beauty, taken aback by the beauty of it, that's why I say riveting, because it looked like the real deal. That's how beautiful it was. And just seeing it just felt real. So I knew that was confirmation that they will fake a false Messiah coming back. And it's important for us to not be deceived by that, even though a lot of people will be deceived by it, and it's a shame though that has to happen, but it is nonetheless, and it will be because the nations were deceived. It will be because man was deceived by sorcery. And it's just that alone is the truth. They were deceived by sorcery, period. And Scripture says that. And it's plain as day. Now, let me go and and like I said, some of this was review, but still I have to bring it up because it all coincides with what I'm talking about. Daniel 8:25 says that, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. And of course we know that, he's going to try to do all of that. And, of course he's going to be literally decimated without even hands, just words alone, because it says that even in Revelation. But of course this is, policy. It says, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. Now, I've explained to you many times that who is the Apollyon Abaddon spirit? That is Obama. Okay? And the reason why I keep on saying that it's important for people to realize this is because it's so obvious. It's so obvious who this man is. It's so obvious who he is. Okay? But they're making people believe that this man is just some regular man who came, he did his job, and some people might say, he couldn't do anything to his best ability because he had to clean up Bush's mess. You got people who will say that. He couldn't too much do anything. They'll give him that excuse, you know what I mean? Without actually even really truly doing the research to see exactly what laws was passed while he was in office. And it was just, if you don't know anything alone, just know this. He was the only president, okay? The only one to legalize sodomy. The only one. The only one to legalize sodomy. And I think that it was actually legalized in 2015, I believe, when it was official. In 2015, I believe. I may be wrong, but I believe that in 2015, that's when it actually was made official. That 2 men can get married if they like, 2 women can get married if they like, and so on and so forth. You know, so he's the only one to pass that in office. Only president. Only one. So if you don't know nothing along about the nefarious, disgusting things that this man has done, know that. That will at least attribute him to the fact that he is the Apollyon Abaddon indwelt man, which is Satan indwelt, the spirit of destruction. If you don't know anything or have any proof of that, go and look it up. He legalized sodomy. He legalized it. He legalized it. Okay? So, through his policy, he shall cause craft to prosper. And that he did. That he did. And what did he use? He used his good words. He used his nice flatteries. It says all of that through his flatteries. He's going to come in and do that. And that's exactly what he did. But don't think just because he's out of the way, because that's what people think. They say, oh, well, they're not even thinking about him anymore. But you got people now today saying, oh, well, Obama was, man. They're saying Obama was something else. Man, he ain't nothing compared to Trump. You got people still giving praise to Obama. They're giving praise to Obama. Oh, Trump is worse than, they'll say Trump is worse than Bush. Obama was the only one. They're saying that he was that bad. You got people saying that. Obama didn't do half of the things that he did, not keeping in mind that this Negro passed so many damn foul-ass, disgusting laws while he was in office. That will completely not even sit at the front of their brain stem. Not at all. At all. It wouldn't. That'll just go completely out of the window. They don't even think about that. You see, and they got people choosing between the two of the lesser evils when the reality is that he's the most wicked one. But it ain't none of them. You shouldn't be looking to none of them to give you any sort of admonition about what's happening in policy, domestically or foreign. Because they're not going to give you the truth. It's just that simple. But it's not hard to understand this stuff. Only if you are blinded by his flatteries. Or blinded by his craft that has worked you and is continuing to work upon you. Literally. That's all he did was come in. Peaceably. And that's exactly what it says in scripture. He's going to come in peaceably. Literally. Peaceably. Like nobody's business. And change laws and do all that. And that he did. And guarantee you he ain't out of the way. Because guess what? He's the heartbeat behind Biden. Because they are one and the same. Because that was his vice president. He was the vice president. Biden, when Obama was in office. So don't you know that he is pulling Biden's strings? That's why he endorsed him. He's endorsing him because he is the heartbeat. And if you've even seen or paid attention to that, and like I said, I don't try to pay too much attention to it. I watch. I just watch. But I'm not moved by it. So I don't get emotionally aroused by it when I see this type of stuff. Because I understand what's happening. Like a lot of us all do. But Obama's literally the heartbeat behind Biden. And that's what people need to understand. And if you've seen or watched, you still have these people referring to Obama as President Obama. They're still doing that. You know why? Because he's never left office. Well, technically, he has left the White House, but he has never left the seat because he is the beast who sits in the beast. And there's 2 parts to the beast. And I keep telling people this. He is a part of the beast, but they make up one. Okay? That is the false prophet as well as Apollyon Abaddon, which is the Obama indwelt, or Satan indwelt, which is Obama. Okay? And that's he makes up a part of the beast. which is, of course, the false prophet, and then the beast himself, which is, like I said, Apollyon Abaddon. Okay? So that's what people need to understand. So he is literally still the heartbeat. The heartbeat. Since when, why does anybody give a damn about... If that's the case, if he was not that important, right? Since people want to argue, if he was not that important, why is the press making such a hard, overcompensating, will to try to cover what Obama gives a damn about? Why? Oh, and some people might argue and say, oh, well, because he was the one that was the 44th president before Trump. So why does it matter? Nobody's out there, having this long, extensive interview with Bush about how he feels about Trump's presidency. Nobody's doing any of that. Nobody's going, to any of the other presidents or vice presidents to ask their opinions about Trump. Why does he have to have a whole televised commencement speech? And then people say accidentally they refer to him as President Obama still. Why are they accidentally doing that? It's not by accident. Because technically he's never left. And Trump is nothing more. Just because he's in the White House, he's nothing more. All of them are puppets. But he's nothing more but a person, a mascot. That's it. They always need a mascot. Just someone there, a decoy, a body just there. Okay? That's it. That's it. Okay? Why does there need to be some whole televised segment with Obama and Biden literally talking about just completely decimating Trump? And this in no way, me saying that, is advocating for Trump. Because like I said, they all are demonic. They all are part of that damn disgusting beast system. That's just the way it is. Okay? It's painted out, and as we all know, to make it look like they're throwing stones at people so that that the populace will be forced to make a decision to choose between the two or less evils. When there's no real true lesser evil. It's just all demonic and evil as a whole. So if you haven't grasped that concept or ideology yet, you need to get it. So yes, he is literally the heartbeat behind Biden. So he is running. Even if he was to get into to office, I said if he was to even get into office, Biden, he ain't going to be the one running the show. It's going to be Obama. Literally. It is. Go and look up all the stuff that Obama has done for Biden. Literally. Go and look it up. It's some crazy stuff. Some ridiculously outlandish crazy stuff. And do your research on the Negro Obama. Do your research on him. Because you'll find out. All the stuff he didn't pass, all this, like I said, totalitarian, nistic sort of laws that have passed. It happened when he was in office. And what's so interesting is that so many of the real killings of our people really truly happened while his ass was in office too. Like the whole Trayvon Martin thing, Philando Castile, Mike Brown, Tamir Rice, who else? Sandra Bland. The list goes on. The list goes on. Okay? It goes on. It goes on. Okay? That's all I'm saying. So do your research before you come on here and try to act like you're going to debate with me about him. I don't give a damn. It had already been shown to me. If you really want to know the truth, ask the Most High to show you. He'll show it to you as well. You ain't going to like what you want to see. And half of that is the reason why behind that is because you guys love this man so much. You love him so much. No, he's not. He's not evil. What are you talking about? You evil. That's what some of y'all saying right now. You evil. What you talking about? Oh, sorry. I had to plug up my charger. They'll say that. He's not evil, please. You tripping. All right. Keep on believing that. Keep on believing it. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Just keep on believing it. And you're going to see exactly what all of us have been talking about from the beginning. Daniel 7:25 says, And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time